Hey everybody, Derek here, founder of Crua. In this video we're just going to run through how easy it is to set up the Crua Duo GS and GS Maxx systems. Before I do that, just a reminder, this product, the system is now on Kickstarter. The link is below, so please click through so you get the best possible offer and you learn all about the system, why it's unique and why it's the best possible night's sleep in the wild. So come along, I'll show you how easy it is to set up. When you get your Duo GS or GS Maxx, it's going to come in two bags like this. So you have one for the outer tent and one for the inner tent. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to work with the outer tent. So the outer tent goes up first in this system. Leave the inner tent bagged, put it aside, put it under cover, especially if there's any chance of rain. We're now going to take the outer tent out of the bag. We're going to lay it out. We're going to put the poles through the sleeves, and then we'll chat again about how to actually erect the tent. Around here, that's it. Okay, quick note, there are 3 poles, so the 2 of them are the same. They're the ones for the main body of the tent. Again, this is the 3-person system, but the 2-person system is exactly the same. So the 2 longer poles are for the main body, and then there's a slightly shorter pole, and that one is for the porch. Just a little tip. The next step is just to run the poles through these sleeves. Again, there are 3 in all, very simple. Just run them through, same on this side. Again, just approximately for the moment. Quite simply on this side, I'm going to put the pole into the eyelet. And now just around it, the other side, I'm going to rise up the middle of the tent a little bit. We're going to put this eyelet in. As you can see, the tent is now taking its shape. So just made sure all the clips are in place here on all the 4 sides. I'm just going to open these top vents. You'll see there's a bead on the inside. My next step is to stake out the floor. We're just using screws here on the Astro. So the next is the porch pole. Remember, the slightly shorter pole. Exact same thing. This pole will come straight, but it will adopt its own shape after the first use. Just push it through the sleeve, into the eyelet, and over to the other side. Okay, so this is where I give my next lecture about guying out the tent. You never know when the wind is going to, especially if you're somewhere like here in Ireland, you never know when the wind is going to blow up. So always use all your guy lines and all the corner stakes as well. Just, it's good practice, it's a good habit to get into, regardless of what tent you're using, by the way, Crua or otherwise. So I'm going to go around, but before I do the other side, another little tip: close your doors before you stake out a tent. Again, same thing. Whether it's a Crua tent or another tent, if you leave the doors open, it can mean that it's very hard to close the doors afterwards and you strain the whole tent. So if you close the doors first, it means that the tent is in its proper shape before we guy it out, and we're not going to have any problem opening or closing the doors afterwards. So there we have it. The tent is now staked out properly. A bugbear of mine is not staking out the tent properly and not opening the vents. The vents are also there for a reason, to promote circulation of air inside, reduce condensation, etc. So now we're nicely set out. We're going to go inside and we're going to put up the insulated inner tent, the cocoon, if you will. Follow along. I just want to highlight the tent also has a floor here in the porch area for the muddy boots, dirty boots. You don't want to be bringing them into the living or the sleeping area. So we're just going to, we can create a bathtub shape here at the front, just to keep out any unwanted rain right across. It's always a nice feature to have. So the next step is to take the colour or the insulated inner tent out of the bag. Very easy to do. And we're going to roll it out, put it on the flat on the floor of the tent, and then we'll start clipping it in. Very simple. So the next thing I'll do is I'll clip it in the 4 corners of the floor. That's just to give it a shape and know which clips marry up to which. I'd also open the door. We don't want to overstrain it by mistake as we're putting it up in case we clip down in the wrong place or anything. So just clip it in the 4 corners and open the door. So there you have it, all done. I think it's really important that any tent setup is easy and simple as possible to set up. This one has been optimized to make it as easy as possible. And you still have a beautiful plush cocoon for the best night's sleep you can have in the wild. So now we're going to go through the steps to show you how easy it is to take down the Duo GS after you're done and to store it away. First, I've moved inside the tent here just because the first thing to be taken down is the inner tent, or the culla, so the insulated inner tent. So the first thing I've done is I've opened the doors and the bug mesh on both the outer tent and the inner tent. Small tip, anytime you're taking down a tent, it's better to have all the doors open fully. Just allows the air to escape, and especially when you're rolling things up and you want to get them as small as possible, that helps. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go along at the top here and I'm going to just undo all of the clips or the cinches, and we'll drop the inner tent onto the ground. Quick note, it's good to actually work from the front back so that you're undoing the cinches as you go back. You don't want to put any strain on the tent, either the inner tent or the outer tent, unnecessarily, okay? So just start right from the front and work your way all back and start clipping them or unclipping them all as you go. So after unclipping the collar of the inner tent, I'm just going to pull it out now, roll it up and pack it away. Okay, so I've pulled out the tent, I've laid it out. So the next thing is going to be to fold it. So I'm going to fold this way, and fold, double up the whole inner tent on itself, and then I'm going to roll it towards the door. Small tip, have your cinches waiting for you. You learn as you go. Okay, so next thing, we're just going to pack it away, nice and simply. This isn't the final bag, we're still sizing and testing a little bit, but it'll be similar. This is one of the sizes we've been testing. And there you go. That's our inner tent, all nicely snug and packed away. The first step when taking down the outer tent is to undo the guy lines. So I'm going to take them off each point. They're just screwed into the floor here because it's designed as so, but obviously you'll get your stakes with your tent when it's delivered, but in this case we're just going to take them off all the secure points all the way around. We're going to roll them up, put them safely in the little supplied pockets, or the pockets that are built in for them. Then we're going to take out the poles, we'll drop the tent down again, doors open, so that when we drop the tent down the air escapes and we can roll it up nice and snugly. Just a small note as we go along, we can close up the vents until the next time we use them. It saves the bead on the inside from any damage. So first step, before removing the poles, I'm going to go around and I'm going to undo the clips as we go around, and then I'm going to come back to the eyes and start taking them from the four corners, and then we'll just very simply run the poles through the sleeves. Very simply. Normally we can do this a lot quicker. I think we move it down to about 2 minutes if necessary, and it's raining in Ireland here, but we're slowing it down obviously, so it's made as clear as possible. So now I'm going to fold the tent in. So we're going to fold it into the middle from both sides, then fold it back on itself exactly as we did with the culla, roll it up, cinch and bag. With the poles, what I like to do is put them in. Once you have the tent folded, put them in, and when you're rolling up the tent, you're rolling up the poles in there as well. Nice, convenient way to store them. Done deal. Now we don't have the stakes inside obviously, but the stakes will come with the tent. And that's it, ready to go. So there you have it, the Duo GS Maxx system, 3-person tent, all nicely packed away and ready for the next adventure. If you have any questions at all, you can contact us through the Kickstarter page. This campaign is now live on Kickstarter, so you can contact us through the Kickstarter page, or you can contact us through our website on info@cruaoutdoors.com. Other than that, get backing and get ready for the next camping adventure. Crua, sleep easy, live wild.